Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be giving you my review on the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 14 episode 8. Let's jump right into the video. Let's go. So the episode opens up with Drew at her, I don't know what this is, if this is a space that she rents out or if it's an actual property that she owns, but she's at her facility and she's practicing, or she's working out with her Drew team, I guess. I don't know, like the clients that pay for the services that she renders. And I could already see, okay, so she's about to set it up to where she shows these women that she actually has a legitimate business. And of course, she says that she wants to celebrate the biggest winners from the program thus far. So she's going to be planning something for everybody to come and attend. But again, guys, this is just for her to show these women, listen, this is a real thing that I'm doing. You guys can come join me and watch and see what I do. In the next scene, Marlo, Sheree, and Candy get together. I believe Sheree probably put it together to where they're at a spa, and Marlo and Sheree are the first to arrive, and then we see Candy coming in. And let me tell y'all about Candy's energy. Candy was giving me, I am not here for it. I don't want to be here, but I have to be here. I'm not trying to mess with these heifers. I'm just doing my job, collecting my check, and I'm keeping it moving. That's what her energy was sending me. Candy seemed like she wanted no parts of Sheree and Marlo, probably because she knew that these tricks, okay, these chicks were sitting there talking all that mess about her. And I don't blame her. I'm actually glad that she said she had something else to do, that she wasn't jumping into the spa with them, that she was going to sit herself right outside in the it looked like a shower or wherever she was sitting at, and not participate. And I was so happy to see that, because honestly, when she looks back at this season and sees how Marlo was running her mouth and Sheree was co-signing, girl, can you imagine? But anywho, so Marlo just jumps right into it and says to Sheree, listen, do you want to tell her? Do you want me to tell her? So Sheree takes over and basically says, we've been friends for all these years, and they start to flashback 2016, and Sheree talks about what happened in 2017 and 2018 with their friendship. Like they were the best of friends, which we all know they were not. But she's basically saying, like, I thought we were cool, and when I went through my thing with Tyrone, I was expecting to hear something from you, and you said not a mumbling word. And Candy's like, girl, I didn't want to sit there and have anything to say unless you said something to me about it. I agree with Candy, because this is a group of women. If somebody says something that somebody else heard, it's a problem. That person brought it to this person, and now it's a topic of discussion. I mean, come on. You was just upset with Candy for not saying anything to you when Drew came to her and told her about the whole assistant situation. So Candy's like, I don't want to get involved in anything until somebody comes and tells me from their mouth what's going on. And you know, Sheree don't want to hear it. I just feel like Sheree and Marlo want to have an issue with Candy, because who else they're gonna have an issue with? You know, like, okay, Marlo and Kenya do have this on and off again relationship situation, but I just feel like Sheree and Marlo are just setting themselves up for next year, trying to make sure that they get that they get invited back as housewives for the next season. And to me, it's very obvious, and I'm not here for that. So then after Sheree says what she says, here comes Marlo talking about, and do you know what I'm going through? No, she don't know what you're going through, because you and her are not cool like that, Marlo. You know that. And so she proceeds to try to tell her whatever. And Candy's just like, listen, I'm frustrated with you guys. You know, when Candy gets upset, she's not really like in your face angry. Candy is a crier when she gets upset. So she starts crying because she's so upset with these women. Like, I'm frustrated that you guys are bringing this out. Like, I try to do as much as I can do for you guys. You guys want me to give you what you're not willing to give me. And girl, yes, Candy was 100% right with that, because I don't see Sheree nor Marlo being good friends whatsoever. I never hear Marlo talking about my girlfriend over here, or Sheree really bringing anybody on the show that she's really good friends with. So, I mean, in order to be a friend, you got to show yourself to be friendly, and neither one of these women have a good track record when it comes to that. So I'm team Candy. Candy's like, listen, my own family says that they want more of me. They want more of my time. If they're not getting my time, what would make y'all chicks think that y'all gonna get my time? So long story short, they just end the conversation there. Candy goes on and does whatever she's going to do. So in the next scene, Sonya and her sister are talking, and Sonya is expressing the fact that she just doesn't want to have any more kids. And her sister's like, I'm so glad, like, please don't have any more kids. And I just love that moment. Like, Sonya, I love Sonya outside of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like, I don't feel like this is the show for her personally. She might be one and done, although she might want to come back for another season. I don't think she really should, but that's another story for another day. But just to see, like, I love just seeing her and her family dynamic, because they are really a close-knit family. And her sister is just keeping it all the way 100 with her. Like, no, I've seen what you go through with your son right now. I don't think it's a good idea with all the other things that you're trying to do for you to sit up here and try to have another baby. And I have to agree with the both of them. Like, I think Sonya's main thing is she would have another baby, if her husband made himself available, or if he even said, like, I will help you out more. And at first, when she was saying, you know, like, I have all of you guys and it's still not enough, I was like, girl, how's that not enough? It's not enough because it's great to have your mother and your father and your sister and her husband and their cousins, but you really want the father to be there and experience certain things with you and just kind of take the load off of your back. Like, I know with my kids, like, we have help with our family, which is great. You know, I know that we have a couple of people that if we really needed to go somewhere or really wanted to do something, we can be like, hey, can you watch them? And it would be no problem. But you don't always want to have to go to those people every time you want to do something or every time you have something going on, because you feel like, listen, they have their own life and I don't want to take away from them. I have this partner right here that should be next to me helping me out, and he's nowhere to be found. So I totally understand where she's coming from as a wife and as a mom. It's a lot. And it's more so a lot on the female than it is on the male. For whatever reason, that's just the way that it is. I was also looking at her like, Dad, Sonya, can't you just sit there and tell Ross, like, how you feel? And then I thought about it and I'm like, no, girl, you married. You know, it's hard sometimes to tell your spouse really how you feel, because A, you don't want to hurt their feelings, and B, you know that your decision or your feelings about something could really strongly affect that person. And you don't want to be a source of a letdown, or, you know, you don't want them to resent you. So I kind of get that and understand that as well. So we do see that Sonya and Ross sit down, and Sonya's trying her best to be as transparent with him as she can to her ability and let him know, listen, I'm not sure about having this baby. And she lists some of the reasons why she's not sure. And you would think, like, all the things that she's telling him, I'm trying to build my business, you weren't really there the first time around, and it's a lot. You would think that he would just be like, okay, I can understand. But when she asked him, you know, like, how do you feel? Would you resent me? And he said he don't know. I'm just like, dude, like, meet your wife halfway. If she's saying, I'm not sure about having a baby because you weren't as involved as I would have liked for you to have been with the first one, that should have been his opportunity to step up and say, well, with this one, I'm gonna make sure that I'm there. Like, I'm not a business owner or anything like that, but I'm just like, for the life of me, why can't he have these limousines right there in Atlanta where he lives at? Wouldn't that make things so much more easier? So apparently Sheree has a business partner, or I don't know what she has. She has somebody now helping her out with She by Sheree, and she clearly took Kenya's advice, because this person is a female, and she's telling this person that she has samples from 2017 and this year and that year that's just all around her house. And I'm just like, Sheree, first of all, the samples that worked 6 years ago are not going to work today. So let's try to revamp and revitalize She by Sheree. Maybe get some other samples and things like that. I honestly feel like after 10 plus years, if you haven't launched this thing yet, girl, it's kind of hard for me to believe that you are going to launch it. I just think that she's in over her head, and she really needs to sit down and have a come with Jesus moment about what it is that she's trying to do, because this whole She by Sheree thing, I'm sorry, its time has expired. Now we see Marlo with her nephews, and it looks like they're at the archive, and she's having them do some work for her. And she says that they've been really acting out ever since they had the call with their mother. And I'm just like, Marlo, first of all, I applaud Marlo. I really like how she is with her nephews. I have to be honest. I really enjoy seeing that side of her. Obviously, that's a side of her that's in a better light. And the fact that she's putting them to work, I think that's a great thing as well. But I work for a psychologist, so I'm just like, girl, they probably need some type of therapy to help them work through these issues that they're going through. The fact that they had to speak to their mom and see her, that she's not in her right mind, and they're going through adolescence and things like that, and the type of crazy world that we live in with all the pressures that kids go through. I feel like they probably just need a little bit more help, somebody else to talk to. And yeah, that's what I think. Kenya brings up to Candy the situation with Marlo, talking about Candy trying to give her used clothes for her. What is it that Marlo has? With that, I just feel like, listen, like, Marlo, let it go. Okay, like, let it go. So, but Kenya brings that up to Candy, and Candy's just like, I don't know why Marlo's trying to come for me and try to pit people against me. And I'm like, girl, I'm with you, Candy. I know why. I think Marlo just needs a storyline, but I'm just like, girl, I feel you on that. So, of course, Kenya brings up somehow this whole vibrating panties thing comes up again. So Candy and Kenya get into it at the candle making place, and I'm just like, Kenya, let it go. Like, this is who Candy is. You know that she enjoys these type of things. If you weren't happy, you didn't wear the panties, let's move on from the situation. But they sit up in here arguing, talking about their, vaginas and stuff like that in front of these strangers. And the candle woman is just sitting there like, what in the world? What is this? And at the end of the day, what I can applaud about Kenya and Candy is that they can get into it and then they can just be fine and move forward. And I think that's what true, real friends are able to do. They're able to have their disagreements, have their differences, but still be able to just put it in the rearview mirror and keep it moving. So in the next scene, we're at Drew's event, and when I seen the outside, I'm like, oh my God, is she at a different location? Like, girl, what's going on? But apparently this was the same place. She just had like her whole, what do you call it? She had her whole, what's the word I'm looking for? She had her whole logo and everything outside. I thought it really looked nice. So I think Sheree was one of the first people to arrive, Candy and Sheree. And Sheree, girl, those leggings was really nice. Now, we already know Sheree has a nice looking body, but I not realized her butt looked like that. That butt in those pants, girl, I definitely want to try to get those leggings because those were really, really nice, and they look great on a body type like Sheree's. Sheree also had the nerve to have her little water bottle with her and like a little yoga mat, all she by Sheree. And I'm like, okay, Sheree, maybe we're headed somewhere with these items. I'm not gonna lie, I did love the mat that she was using. I thought it was really cute, especially how she had the she spelled, the font that she used for the she. I thought that was really cute. But I'm just like, Sheree, I'm gonna need a little bit more. She's like, this is gonna be coming to a store near you soon. Girl, I hope so. Because I'm about tired of seeing you embarrass yourself on TV with the She by Sheree. But anywho, Marlo comes in and she just strolls right on past Candy like she don't see her. And I'm like, ain't that what Nene says? So nasty, so rude. Marlo, you so nasty, so rude. That was uncalled for. How in one clip you sit over there telling this woman that you want her to be there for you and be supportive, and then when you see her, you walk right past her. Where do they do that at? That's just Marlo. No, ma'am. Now you understand, and you mean to tell me you can't understand why Candy is the way that she is towards you? Girl, bye. Sonya gonna pull Ralph aside to try to get some marital advice. Now, number one, my issue as a married woman is if you're not effing with my husband, you're not effing with me. Okay? Why do you think it's okay for you to sit there and talk to Ralph knowing that you and his wife Drew have an issue? I just think that is completely out of order. The two, when you're married to somebody, the two are one. So if you got a beef with my husband, you got a beef with me. If you got a beef with me, you got a beef with my husband. That's just how we rock. That's just how we roll. Number two, how are you asking for advice from a man who has no respect for his wife? What do you think that man is going to be able to tell you? Like, usually, in my opinion, when you have issues in your marriage, you don't go to the friends that are having the same issues or friends that are having issues in general. You want to go to the friend that's been there, done that, and lived to tell the story. I just don't know what she was thinking going to Ralph, and then she had her hand on his shoulder the whole time she was talking to him. I'm like, Sonya, no. So of course the advice that he gave her is that she should just have the baby to keep her husband happy. And I'm like, no, it has to be a mutual decision. First of all, having a baby is not just like going to the store and picking out what brand of milk you want to buy. That's a big decision. And it is her body that is carrying the baby, and it is more than likely her that's going to have to be dealing with the baby 24/7. So no, y'all need to come together and figure it out. So Todd pulls Candy out of the event real quick. Apparently somebody had breached their property, and Candy was like, I gotta go. My babies are there. I'm out. And I'm just thinking, I'm looking at this scene and I'm like, now see, Dory, this is how you handle something happening at your house as a mother. You go home and you check on your children. You and your husband go home and check on the kids. Like, I don't have time to talk to y'all and tell y'all what all is going on. We got to go home and see what's going on at home. That's how you handle that. Sheree saying that Drew looks like a busted can of biscuits. I'm just like, Sheree, I'm not with the whole body shaming women. Like, it's only by the grace of God that you look the way that you look. Really, it's only by his grace. And I just think it's just disgusting of her to say that about Drew. Like, it's just so vile. Like, why do you have to come for the way somebody looks? You don't know what that woman's been through. You don't know what that woman is going through. Everybody can't look like Beyonce, okay? Everybody can't look like you. I just really think it's just disgusting and ugly. You know, whether it's Marlo talking about Kenya's butt or Sheree making comments about Drew's body and her botched or whatever mommy makeover. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. It's like we should be really lifting one another up. So the ladies find out that Drew is actually just a partner with this woman. She did not come up with the whole Drew, whatever it is that she's doing. She's just simply a partner, the face of the brand. This woman has already had this established for 5 years prior, and she knew that Drew was connected in the Atlanta area, so they got together and came and did, what is it called? Workout by Drew or Drop It with Drew. They came and did that. And listen, Sonya kind of tried to make light of it in her confessional and stuff like that. Listen, she's doing what she has to do to make a living, to support her family. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at her. Should she have just come out from the jump and said exactly what it was? Of course. She embellished. This is what we get with Drew. We know that already. So just let it slide. We know what it is. You know, now at least these women know it's not a Ponzi scheme or anything like that. I did think it was funny when Drew was like, you know, some of us take like 10 years just to start a business. Sheree, I do see a mat. I was just like, Drew, girl, that was funny. Sheree, I see a mat. And Sheree said not a mumbling word. Homegirl had no comeback because she knew what Drew was putting down was 100% correct. Okay, Drew came for that mat and her 10 years just to get it here. And I was like, yes, Drew. And the thing about it, I thought once Drew said that, I was thinking to myself, like, you know, Sheree would do much better if she came out with like a fitness workout DVD type of thing. Like what Drew is doing is, to me, what Sheree should be doing. Sheree is very, Sheree has her body on point, like, and she likes to work out. You know, she already came with her little workout pants and everything else. Why not just start doing videos and then expand the videos into a fashion line? That might not be such a bad business for her to have. I'm just saying, she already works out, so just put the two and two together and let's get the bag. So Mayetta brings up the fact that, you know, she's been hearing some things about Marlo talking about Candy, and she wants to know what's going on pretty much. And Marlo's just like, who said it? Kenya, did you say it? And Kenya's like, yes, I said it. It's just like, Kenya's like, yes, I said it. I don't know why that part made me laugh, but I was having a good old laugh with that. Kenya's like, I bring the information the way it's supposed to be brought. I'm like, okay, Kenya. This is Kenya and Marlo. I don't know how many rounds we have seen these two women go at it. There is something obviously about Marlo that really gets Kenya riled up. Like, I thought it used to be Portia in Kenya, but Marlo really, I think maybe because Marlo goes so below the belt. That's probably what it is. But like, they just don't mix. They don't mix at all. And Marlo's inching closer to Kenya. Kenya's kind of putting her hand in Marlo's face, and it looks like they're about to start brawling. And I'm just like, y'all both too old for this. Marlo, back up. Kenya, put your hands down and relax. I'm just like, Marlo and Kenya, please just go home. Just go home. Like, y'all too old to be doing this. Too old and have too much to lose. Here Drew is trying to uplift these women that have lost all this weight, and y'all sitting here ready to have World War III in the back. It's just, no. It's just no. Just go. Like, I really was hoping that Marlo would be a little bit more decent. You know, I think my expectations of Marlo is what she cannot get. Like, she is not capable of meeting my expectations. This whole thing about Kenya's been always, you know, coming for her, and she just really hurts my feelings, and this, that, and the third that Marlo be trying to say all the time. Girl, you are delusional. You are delusional. Did you not hear the way you was talking about this woman like an episode or so ago? Girl, you was coming for her entire life. Then Bravo loves to replay the whole thing with Marlo talking about even your mother didn't want you. You know it's bad when your mother don't want you. Like, Marlo, Kenya should not mess with you at all for the things that you said about her. So I'm just like everything you're saying Kenya does to you, girl, you do to everybody else. You want from people, and I feel like Marlo really does, like, when she says that she's hurt, I believe that she's honestly hurt. But my thing is, girl, do you not see the hurt that you cause other people? Like, come on now. Let's call a spade here, Marlo. I don't see what Kenya has done to you matching what you do to her. Like, you go way past, like, way below the belt. Way below the belt. Then we see finally that Sonya takes it upon herself to do the right thing with Drew and pull her to the side and have this discussion. And she apologizes to Drew, I guess, like, for her delivery and stuff like that. And she promises just to be, you know, upfront with how she feels from the jump. And I'm just like, Sonya, why couldn't you have done this, like, from the beginning? Like, when you had the issue with her. And on a side note, like, do you now have an issue with Marlo or with Kenya kind of put her hand in Marlo's? Because that was the whole reason why you had an issue with Drew to begin with. I'm just saying. I would love to know, like, where she's at with that. But anyway, she pulls her to the side, and I just feel like finally they get the conversation that they should have been had. And then she brings up the whole thing with her and Ross. And I'm just like, okay, so Drew is of the same opinion of her husband. And I'm just like, okay, so Drew is of the same opinion of her husband, that she should basically suppress how she feels to give this man what he wants. And again, guys, I just don't agree. Like, why is everybody trying to tell this woman, except for her sister, that she should have another baby? If she really don't want to have a baby, leave it alone. She don't want the baby. She don't want another one. She has her hands full with the one that she has. Some people, all they need is one, and that is perfectly fine. So that's the end of the episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.